Did you know that you can customize your insertion orders in several different ways? And once you complete that customization, you can actually save those as templates that you can use over and over again. You'll probably have noticed before when you come into your order creation screen, there's a button on the upper right hand side that's in bright orange that says Create From Template. This will actually be a library of any templates that you create for yourself. You can have as many templates as you want. Typically, it's common to have separate templates based on the media type or maybe an individual buyer's preferences, however you want to do that. What you would do once you create that template, you would just hit Populate Order. Now, keep in mind, you would still need to go ahead and choose the vendor and the media type because, again, it could change from time to time, from campaign to campaign, but then everything else will remain static that you've chosen before. On our Options tab, the second tab, you notice there's a few fields here for any type of commenting. This legal disclaimer that is actually set up in the agency settings. Okay, if you come into this section and there's nothing here, you can probably just go ahead and uncheck that because there's nothing really to print out. But again, if you want to put something as far as a legal disclaimer, it is up here in the agency settings. There's a field for that. Typically, we recommend if you're going to use that feature that it's probably best to have it something that's universal across all of your orders that you place, regardless of who the vendor is, regardless of the market, campaign, etc. Put something that would be universal. But then also right below that, we have another comment field. So again, this would be specific to this campaign or perhaps this template. So for example, since this is a TV order I'm about to place, I might want to put in my make good policy in here or my make good rules, etc. Whatever, what the sky's the limit as far as whatever you want to put in. We also have traffic instructions on the right. If you don't have anything to say, you can just uncheck it. This is just a free form field, so you can put something like traffic coming soon or what have you. And then we also have a detailed traffic section for ISKI codes. This typically does not save with the templates, but at the same time, you're probably not going to have your traffic ready at the time the order is placed anyway. Traffic can be input after the fact. But on this last tab here, this is how we're going to lay out what we want that rep to see. So this is a television order. These are all the options for television. So I probably want the day part to show. I probably want the program. We'll put gross and net. And again, there's other fields here as well you can include. So again, depending on how much or how little you want them to see. I noticed that there's two different types of comments, okay? So the comments field in this print options, that pertains to your individual line comments in the worksheet, okay? So if you have comments in those individual lines, such as bookends or make good or whatever the case may be, that's when you want to add this comment. We also have a comment field here in the middle section for options. So that comes into play on that previous tab for this comment field right here. So that is the difference between the two types of comments. So if you have something in this field here, you want to make sure and check off this particular option here. And then again, you can kind of look around and play with the different options and choose what you want or don't want on there. And we also have a few more here on the far right hand side, and I think sometimes these are overlooked a lot. Just to kind of differentiate what these all mean, you'll notice that, for example, there's a campaign comment section. This actually comes from the campaign settings. When you create the campaign and choose your markets, your demos, and all that good stuff, there is a section for comments. I think it's overlooked, quite common. And it's not necessarily priority to have comments in there. I would typically recommend if it's something very specific to that specific campaign, you can include that. Also, we have advertiser comments. So anything you input in your advertiser settings, so when you create that advertiser or go back in later to update the settings, there is a line for comments. So again, it's going to be something that's specific to that client and that client only. So it could be something like maybe that client is a direct bill client when none of your others are. So again, just totally optional. And then of course you have more header options down below. You want to put various things in here. And then we have a couple customization options for the headers and the columns. So see this orange customized columns, you can open that up and you can actually rearrange these columns and how they're going to appear. So let's say, for example, you want the net to appear before the gross for whatever reason, or you want the day part over here all the way. And you can even shrink down the size of the columns if you wish to do that to get more on the page. And all you have to do is, once you make those adjustments, hit your close and then hit the apply to keep those changes intact. And then we also have an option to customize the headers so that you can go in and you can choose what you want and where it's going to be placed instead of the default. And then you make sure you want to preview the order before you hit create template. Okay, so once you have this laid out and you preview it to make sure it looks good, you're going to give it a name up here in this corner, this template name, this blank box, and then you're going to hit create template. Now you want to make sure that that order is ready to go, because when you hit create template, you also create the actual order itself. So again, I recommend highly to preview that template before you create it, and then it'll now be in your library.